a nightmare. Take care of yourself. Practice makes perfect.
Well, Capcom sure is fond of re-releasing its games because this is the second time that Resident Evil has been dug out and prettied up. After the 1996 PlayStation original, there was a 2002 remake for GameCube, and now this is a remaster of that remake.
Yes, you could call it a re-release. Oh, but what a game that original one was. When people ask me, what is your favourite game of all time? Resident Evil is the game which comes to my mind first. So good.
Wow, I knew you liked Resident Evil, but I didn't know it was your all-time fave. I have to say though, considering the large crowds that we face in zombie games these days, I forgot how much of a solitary experience this was. Most of the game is spent exploring this huge mansion by yourself. Getting attacked by zombies was almost a rarity while I scrounged around rooms looking for items and solving puzzles.
Yeah, and that loneliness is part of what I love about this game so much. Many rooms are silent except for the echo of your footsteps, but you know the zombies are there somewhere, so the game just keeps ratcheting up that anticipation and tension. I'm on the edge of my seat with every loading screen, and those fixed camera views really help the fear as well.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. Yeah, I'd be watching that door open and then I could hear a zombie, but I wouldn't be able to see anything of the room except the corner that I was in. Those rooms were not fun. But before we get too deep into it, we should talk about what they've added in this remaster.
Yes, mostly this version is about the graphics. At the time, the original game's backgrounds looked stunning, but the characters stood out as pretty blocky. This was fixed in the GameCube version, and those are essentially still the visuals we have, except they've been scaled up to 1080p. And this brings out more detail in the real-time characters, but leaves the pre-rendered backgrounds looking a little blurry in comparison. There's also widescreen support now, but sadly that just cuts off the top and bottom.
No anamorphic widescreen, how did you cope?
I had to take a few deep breaths, but I did get over it eventually because the game is so good.
Well, the addition that I was most thankful for were the updated controls. No longer do you have to turn on the spot like an old tank. You just push in the direction you want to go, and it works. Although I still found myself doing more than a few of those awkward dances thanks to those confusing camera changes.
Yeah, me too. They're hard to get used to. It's very hard going back to that. Times have definitely moved on. But I just kept coming back to this game for its atmosphere. This game always keeps you on the back foot. Ammo and health pickups are scarce, and this makes you genuinely fear those encounters. Oh dear. Click.
I think the most terrifying aspect of this game for me is just the save system. The game only saves when you use one of your ink ribbons on the old typewriters, and you only have a very limited number of ink ribbons. So you can really only afford to save every half hour or so, which is pretty stressful when the game has so many instant deaths. Ooh, I'll just try this switch I found. And I'm dead. So frustrating.
But that's all part of the tension. It's why it works so well.
Yeah, maybe for you because you remember where all the instant deaths are and you can save before them.
Hey, it's been 20 years since I first played this game. My memory's not that good. Plus, the GameCube version has a few surprises that caught me by surprise. Oh, I don't remember the dog coming in. The dog never came in on the other version. That dog's not meant to come inside, it's meant to stay outside the room. No.
I just felt like there was so much backtracking around the mansion collecting items. You can only hold 6 items, and most of them are taken up with weapons, health, and keys. So I kept being told I couldn't pick up something that I needed, not even health plants. Like, I don't care if I don't have any space in my pockets for it. Just use the health then and there so I don't die, please. And if you have no free hands, just eat it off the ground or something.
It's like hold everything and bend over and
just eat it.
Off the ground? Yeah, it makes sense. That is a fair point. The later games actually let you use health without having to store it first. Plus, with practice, you can get to know which items you can store safely until they're needed. And of course, you can also save on ammo by going for difficult headshots. Oh! You are not getting up. You are not. As soon as I started playing this, all those tips and tricks started flooding back, but I agree, this game does not hold your hand.
I don't need my hand held, but just some indication of where to go next would have been nice. Instead, you just have to go door to door trying each one to see if whatever key I have would fit. But there are so many locked doors.
Yes, this does come from a time where you need a pen and paper next to you as you play. And I think it's because 1996 was a simpler time for games that Resident Evil felt like such a big change for me personally. It was the first game that showed me how games could make you feel things. In this case, scaring the poo out of me. This is by far the best version of the game. I'm giving it 4 stars.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, because for me, without wearing those rose-tinted goggles of nostalgia, it was a bit of a slog, so I'm giving it 2.
What was that?
I'll go and check it out.